This week, uncensored. The headlines they hope you scroll past.
The world has a new international organization called the Board of Peace, which sounds less like a serious mechanism for preventing war and more like an expensive homeowners association where the chairman can fine a country for leaving recycling bins out on Tuesday. And who is the chairman? Donald J. fucking Trump. Not president for the term Trump, not United States Representative Trump, Donald Trump personally, as the charter's inaugural chairman, apparently with the kind of job security normally reserved for a medieval duke, a streaming service password, or the mold in your shower. Now, the charter says he can be replaced only if he resigns or is incapacitated, and then only through a unanimous vote of an executive board whose members he selects and can remove. He gets to invite states. He gets to remove them, subject to a high bar for reversal. He can create or dissolve subsidiary bodies. Board decisions are subject to his approval. He is the final authority on the meaning of the charter for the Board of Peace. So, this is not a board in the ordinary sense. A board has governance. A board has checks and balances. A board has that annoying person from compliance who ruins every meeting by asking, where the hell is the money going? This is a monarch with a calendar invite. Go ahead and send me your calendar link or your booking or whatever, your Zoom. That's what this is. And when the organization tells you it is committed to peace, stability, lawful governance, and international law, its charter offers a neat little feature for countries that want more than a 3-year membership. Contribute over $1 billion in the first year, and the term limit does not apply. Don't get it wrong. This is not a mandatory entry fee. Let's be precise. It is merely a $1 billion loophole through which a country can purchase immunity from the expiration date. Because nothing says the moral legitimacy to broker peace like a premium loyalty tier. Welcome to the Board of Peace Platinum. For $1 billion, you get permanent membership, complimentary bottled water, and priority seating, while the global order is restructured around one man's personal vote. Donald J. Trump. Now, the board began in the orbit of Gaza reconstruction and received a limited form of authorization through a UN Security Council resolution for Gaza-related implementation through the end of 2027. That part matters. The Security Council is flawed, gridlocked, captured by vetoes, and frequently as decisive as a committee trying to pick a brunch location. But the Security Council is at least a known failure. It is built from states, rules, votes, arguments, and the permanent tension of a world in which powerful countries refuse to agree. The Board of Peace is selling itself as the sleeker replacement model, same planet, fewer inconvenient adults in the goddamn room. And here is the cute part. Its charter does not even mention Gaza. Not a single time, not once. Zip, zilch, zero, stingy with De Niro. The board's mandate is broad enough to reach conflicts everywhere. That does not mean it has magical authority to march into any country it chooses. Legally, it does not. In most cases, it would still need host state consent or relevant Security Council authorization. But it tells you what the designers want. An organization born in one crisis, written to expand into every other crisis, centered on a chairman whose powers outlive the presidency that made him powerful in the first place. This is not multilateralism. That is an international franchise opportunity. And the hypocrisy gets worse when we arrive at the International Criminal Court. Now, the Trump administration has sanctioned the ICC's president and senior legal officials. The court called the sanctions a flagrant attack on its independence. The administration has sanctioned 9 of the ICC's 18 judges, its deputy prosecutors, a former chief prosecutor, and staff. Its stated goal is to pressure countries to withdraw and to weaken the institution's ability to investigate powerful people. In layman's terms, get off of Bibi Netanyahu's back. Plain and simple. So the pitch is the old international legal order is corrupt and political. Also, please welcome our new peace club, chaired for life by the guy who gets final say on the rules, the membership, the bodies under the body, and apparently the definition of the word final. Now, that motherfucker is a hell of a sales deck. And Human Rights Watch has noted the particularly grotesque optics among the leaders invited to join are Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu, both of whom are subject to ICC arrest warrants. So let that sink in. Just let that shit mull around in your head for a little bit. A government attacks the court that is supposed to examine grave crimes, then welcomes people wanted by that court into an institution branded as a vehicle for peace. My ass. It is the moral equivalent of firing the fire marshal, then appointing the arson suspect to chair the sprinkler committee. Now, to be accurate, the Board of Peace did not itself sanction the ICC. The sanctions are actions of the U.S. government or Donald J. Trump. But this is the same political project, the same administration, the same impulse. Accountability is wonderful as long as it is aimed outward, never upward, and certainly, God forbid, never at the people seated near the microphone. Not inward. And yes, the UN needs reform. Of course it does. Shit, everything needs reform. The Security Council structure reflects 1945, when the entire global order was held together by telegrams, ration books, and the faint hope that nobody would start another world war. Its failures are real. Its veto system has repeatedly made human rights conditional on the preferences of the powerful. But you do not repair democratic failure by replacing it with a smaller room where one powerful man owns the keys, chooses who enters, decides when the meeting ends, and can appoint his own successor. You do not solve a broken courthouse by opening a private courthouse across the street and declaring the landlord Chief Justice for life. You are not a fucking king. The board's defenders will say, at least it is trying to get things done. Fine. Results do matter. Peace matters. Rebuilding Gaza matters. Human beings who have lived through hell do not need another panel discussion about the architecture of moral concern. But results without accountability are not peace. They are a deal. And deals made by the powerful for the powerful while they punish the institutions designed to investigate power have a long history. We call that history the reason we built international law in the first place. A real international peace institution should be representative. It should be transparent. It should make room for the people who live with the consequences, not just the leaders who pose beside the logo. It should treat human rights as the floor, not an optional garnish. And its chairman should not have more job security than the people trying to survive the wars he claims he can end. The Board of Peace may yet help deliver aid or oversee reconstruction, however, I severely doubt it. It may do some useful work, but I don't believe it. But a useful project can still be wrapped in a profoundly unserious governing structure. Because if your answer to a broken global order is give Donald Trump a lifetime chair, $1 billion permanence upgrade, and an escape hatch from everyone who can question him, you have not built a board of peace. You have built a gentleman's club for impunity with a diplomatic lanyard. And the rest of the world is expected to call that progress. I'm your host, Stevie B. Think about that shit. Good night.